Greetings, my fellow starfarers. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector with Nexerelin. If you would like to skip the review about the Nexerelin mod, as well as the goals, mods, and starting settings, please use YouTube chapters. Episode 1, Zero to Hero. Starsector is a single-player, open-world space combat game, including mechanics of role-playing, exploration, and economy. You take the role of a space captain seeking fortune and glory. Nexerelin is a giant mod that was made for Starsector, and it expands upon the game to make it more of a 4X game. 4X being explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. Now specifically, and I'm going to go over to the detail screen here, it adds more of the 4X game mechanics, like factions waging war, factions having dynamic diplomacy, players can join a faction or start their own, and they can forge alliances. It also adds more things for you to do, mining planets, asteroids, using operatives as spies, requisitioning fleets for tasks, paying tribute to factions to use their territory, bringing aid to troubled planets so they don't become decivilized, turning in high-value prisoners, constructing exploration outposts, dealing with remnant raid fleets, relief aid fleets for troubled worlds, and vengeance war fleets for when you piss someone off just a little too much. It also allows for random galaxy generation, so that the core worlds are not the same, and I will be doing just that. So over here you can also see the goals. The goal for me is to win by conquest victory, which is to control a simple majority of the total market size, or 2/3 of the heavy industry. And also, another goal is to build an alliance with Tritachyon. I don't want to go it alone. I don't want to fight all factions. I like Tritachyon. I always have. I always will. I prefer their ships. So an alliance with them makes the most sense. In terms of mods I'm using, basically the only one that matters is Nexerelin. But there you have the mods. 1 reminds me to save. 2 are just framework mods for Nexerelin and graphics lib. And then graphics lib makes it so that when ships blow up, it doesn't literally blind you, because yeah, it strobes pretty bright. So that's all that those mods do. And then let's get to starting settings. Back to the game here. I am going to be creating a brand new game, obviously. So let's set this up as quick as I can. I kind of prefer to be faceless, so I'm going to go with that. And my name is Rodamont. Oh yes. Now, it does give you a little intro about what Nexerelin is here. It's a 4X extension to the game, where factions are more dynamic. And then it's informing you that your actions will gain or lose influence with those factions. And then have fun, provide feedback on the Starsector forums. Oh, I also think it's worth mentioning, you cannot buy Starsector anywhere but their official website. It's not on Steam or GOG or anywhere else. It's only on fractalsoftworks.com. So if you want Starsector, don't look for it anywhere else, because you're not going to find it. Unless it's like pirated or something, but don't pirate games. Alright, so at the beginning of a Nexerelin playthrough, you do get a whole bunch of options here. You can just proceed with all totally default settings, but I'm going to enable random core worlds so that I'm not going to know the layout of the core worlds, and they're going to have different names, unlike regular Starsector where all the core worlds are the same. They're static. As far as sector generation goes, I'm going to leave this all default. So 10 populated systems, 23 populated planets, 8 stations, 3 maximum inhabited planets per system, and then 4 with stations. For faction settings, leaving this as default as well. So they're going to be default faction relationships. Factions won't respawn, so you can kill off factions entirely. And faction weights will be default as well. So certain factions will be better at certain economies than others. And that's standard in Starsector. And then the other options is Prism's Freeport. So Prism Freeport, if you don't want to represent a faction, Prism Freeport is an independent trade station that sells really high quality ships. They're marked up like crazy, but that could be useful, especially if you want to be factionless and have no allies. And then easy mode or starfarer mode, that's easy or hard mode. Random location I'm not going to enable because I don't want to start in the middle of absolutely nowhere with no fuel. No starting D-mods. These D-mods are like damaged types of ships, and I don't want to start with damaged ships. And then the own faction start location doesn't matter because I'm not going to be starting with a faction. So let's proceed. And then I'm going to be picking the free start hard. So you can choose to start a start as part of a faction, hegemony or Tritachyon or something like that. Your own faction, where you'll be given a planet and then given the option to choose how to improve that planet at the game's start. A random faction, a custom start, which I'm not going to do, or the free start hard. So free start hard for me. Then you can pick the types of ships you want over here on the right. And I am going to go with combat small because it's, again, the hardest. Oh, and look, second random. I should have probably kept that. I really like the Sunder. It's a personal favorite destroyer of mine. So I want a Sunder with a wolf. Oh, that's perfect. I like that. So select that. And then on top of that, I've been just given the Sunder, the Wolf, and the Brawler with some crew, supplies, heavy machinery, and fuel. And I'm going to take the Ensign start, the level 1 least amount of credits possible. Done. Right at the start of the game, you are given at least a skill point. And I am going to start the game without actually spending this, because I'm going to have you decide on how I spend my skill point. So let me type that up real quick. How should I spend, or how should I level up? Combat, leadership, technology, or industry. And I'll read you off the options here so that you understand them. There is a finite amount of skill points, so you can't get everything. And then some skills can also be leveled up to elite levels. So elite levels would be a story point, which you gain as you level up normally. So for instance, combat gives you more maneuverability and top speed, and then when leveled up to elite levels, it can allow you to go even faster when you don't have flux built up. So it's a way to double up your skills. So let's start the game. And it's going to generate the galaxy, because I have a random core worlds, random galaxy, everything is random. I've never seen this before. So we are going to have to do a fair bit of exploring, because nothing is standard anymore. Where can you get Starsector? Hey, you know, I have a details command for that. All right. So it looks like we started on the Syndrian Dictat world here. This is probably our home world, I'd imagine, but we are surrounded by their fleets. Very damaged fleets. Holy cow. So as far as skills go, here are the choices. Helmsmanship, which allows me to move a little bit faster, and even faster yet if I get the elite version with some additional maneuverability, which is like turn speed. Leadership, that gives 5% weapon damage for all combat ships at a maximum of 5%. It depends on how many ships are deployed. And then there is it also affects ground operations. So the effectiveness of ground operations such as raids on planets are more effective, and casualties for Marines are lessened. Technology gives me a maximum burn level. Basically, it allows me to traverse the solar system and galaxy quicker. And also gives me the transverse jump, so it allows you to hop out of a solar system to the galaxy without going through a wormhole, or gravity well, rather. And then there's also a lowered terrain penalty when you're going through nebula and the like. And then industry. Industry increases my cargo capacity, fuel capacity, and personnel capacity, and then also increases the burn level for all non-militarized civilian-grade ships by 2. Basically, if you're going to be like a trade caravan or something, industry would be the way to go. Now, they do level up in order. So in order to get combat endurance, for instance, we would have to get the prerequisite skill, and you work your way up to the end. I'm not going to read them all off because that would take me forever, but I'm going to give you one more minute to vote in this poll, right there. And I'm going to get the lay of the land. Am I familiar with the new skill tree? No, not so much. Not so much. So here is the galaxy that we have. I think probably, yeah, here's the sector map. I'm going to turn on all of the overlays. So just to analyze it, we have, ooh, interesting, Tritachyon and Ludic Church sharing a solar system with pirates. Weird. That's Terminus, then Black Emperor, Persean League, Pirates, Ludic Church again, and Independent World. Where we are is a very large Terran world for the Syndrian Dictat, another Ludic Church, and Ludic Path, which is like religious terrorists, I guess. You have a Prism Freeport, so that's kind of in the middle here at the Nebula. A independent, very large independent world, small pirate desert world, and the Ludic Path again. Wow, a lot of Ludic Path. The Persian homeworld is probably Mingrela over there. I'm sort of looking for where Tritach is located. So Tritach has a Terran-eccentric world here, Grand Minister. That's probably where I'm going to do a lot of questing and buying ships and the like. And then the Hegemony main world is a large tundra world there. And all of these other star systems that just have little brackets that are emptied have not been searched by me. So we don't get knowledge of the map besides that. So I think what I'm going to do straight away is to head towards Grand Minister, just to see, or actually I'm going to head towards the Prism Freeport, because I want to buy a very specific gun for my ship, and I suspect that the Prism Freeport is going to sell that weapon. Then I'm going to have you all vote on the goals. So here they are. It's a big list. We can either bounty hunt, survey or explore mission, run a trade mission, build up reputation with a faction, specifically probably Tritachyon, improve the ship or fleet, which I'm kind of doing right now, search for habitable planets for colonization. That usually comes later. You can search early, that's fine, but that usually comes later because it costs a whole lot of money in order to colonize. Go mining, which requires a mining-capable fleet, but that's something introduced in Nexerelin, or viewer suggestions, which is sort of the umbrella of other for things that you would suggest. The other thing I want to do is once I get to Prism, I'm going to name the current ships that I have after you all. I don't have any other captains with me, so there's no people to name, but there's ships to name. So raffle timer is right above my head. That indicates that a raffle's going on. So if you're a subscriber of mine and you would like something named after you, have at it. All right, so let's get moving. I'm going to jump to, and you know what? I don't even need to go to the jump point because you guys just had me get transverse jump. So I'm going to put transverse jump on my hotbar and use it. Honestly, given how close I was to a jump point, it would make more sense to go to the jump point, but I'm lazy. What can I say? All right, my fleet has entered hyperspace. You use fuel in hyperspace. This isn't exactly going to be a tutorial series. I'm happy to answer questions, but I'm not going to handhold walk you through it because I already have a lot of that content on YouTube already. So if you want to learn, the Starsector series is up there from last year. And I do believe I owe you guys a hydrate. Cheers. Oh, let's dodge that storm. Nope, I got hit by the storm anyway. And I'm going to save. Just in case. Alright, so here is the Twilight Gate, which is for the Prism Freeport. And there's the Freeport. It's a very well-guarded, independent star fortress that sells very fancy ships, as you will see in a minute. So if I go to the fleet screen and I go to buy, we've got onslaughts and conquests, a lot of conquests, dominators and auroras, big ships that are many times too expensive for me to even look at. I feel like I have to pay tax just staring at them. But here's my little dinky rust bucket, and then my wolf and my starfarer, or my brawler rather. And what I wanted to do is refit my own ship. I started with an auto pulse laser. Y'all know what I'm going to install. I mean, come on, you guys know me. Is it... Oh god, they don't have it. No! Alright, it looks like I'm going to have to go to the Tritachyon homeworld because they don't seem to have my favorite thing. And, well, you know, I want my favorite thing. But I'll go through ship customization later. Let's see. I am going to adjust the... Oh god, I hate how this ship is equipped. It's horrible. But I'm going to adjust how this is laid out soon. Go get the thing. Yes. Alright, and then you guys, let's say 1 more minute left to decide the first action that I take. So, I do have enough fuel to go out to Kigameng, which is the homeworld of the Tritech. The brighter orange circle is where you can make a round trip, and the dimmer orange circle is where you can make a one-way trip. So I have enough to make a round trip to Kigameng if I wanted to, but obviously I'm just gonna go there and buy the thing. If I can see it sold. Big if. Now in this scenario, I do get a Janus device, which allows me to use jump gates right off the bat. I don't have to do that quest line. So I'm going to right-click it and integrate it into my fleet, which is to say I have the gate travel device. So Stargates, here we come. And then I also have a stipend from the Academy. So if I go to... Where is credits? I never remember what credit says. Oh, you know what's interesting? I had transverse jump before I even got navigation. Okay. But my credits a day, or my credits per month goes up because I have a stipend from the Academy for now. But that will wear off in due time. Alright, so here is Grand Minister, or Meister, whatever it is. I don't even remember. And in these core worlds, there's pretty much nothing to explore. There's, generally speaking, not things to find. It looks like you guys want me to go on an exploration mission after I improve my fleet. So let me update that. Improve the ship and then take an exploration mission. So looking to refit my ship. There we are, plasma cannon, that's what I wanted. It's on the black market, which is fine. I don't care if it's black market or not. And then I'm going to get rid of the Sabo SRMs that I had. Sabo SRMs are nice weapons, don't get me wrong, but I don't want them on this ship. So instead, I'm going to put in a Vulcan cannon point defense. Is there another Vulcan cannon point defense here? There isn't. So, unfortunately for me, I am not going to be symmetrical. I'm going to go light LMGs for the other slots, knowing that I'm going to want to fill them in with the Vulcans eventually. And then the IR pulse lasers are general weapons that are pretty short range. Let's see if we can get something better for that. And Kilgore, thanks for all the gifted subs. The antimatter blasters would be pretty nice, but they're extraordinarily short range. The ion suppression beams wouldn't be bad. I guess I am going to put the pulse lasers in, only because if small fighters attack me, I'm probably going to want those. Then the other thing I'm going to do is install some additional flux capacity into this ship. Oh wow, I can install flux distributors as well. Okay, I am fluxed up the butt, because I don't have a lot of things installed here. The Wolf here, I'm going to replace the Harpoon MRMs with the Sabos that I have, because I like the Sabo SRMs better. They're anti-shield, small missiles. Harpoons are finishers. You only fire them a few times. And he's got an ion cannon, which is fine, and a heavy blaster, which is fine. Okay, I do... What is this? Flux distributor? Yeah, okay, that's fine. And there we go. That ship's all set. And then the Brawler... The Brawler is fine. I'm not going to touch the Brawler. In terms of weapon groups, the IR pulse lasers will be on group 2. The Vulcan and LMGs will be on group 3. They will be on auto fire by default. Okay, cool. The weapons that I don't need, I'm going to sell on the black market because it's cheaper. I'm going to buy a lot of fuel and supplies because I'm going to need fuel and supplies for whatever mission that you guys have me undertake. And then confirm. And let's go ahead and take a look at what is available in terms of ships. So you guys wanted an exploration mission. I can analyze a domain era probe for the Independence. Ideally, I would like to take missions for Tritac, if possible. Because I want to build up my reputation with Tritac. That's kind of far out there. I'm not going to lie. But I guess I'm going to accept it. Because that's the only exploration mission that I have at the moment. There's also other missions like bounties. But you guys didn't vote on a bounty. But because this bounty's on the way, I might make a pit stop because it's a pretty easy bounty to clear. It's a supergiant primary star, so they're at this blue giant here. So we'll head to this blue giant, kill this pirate, and then head out to the search point. Now, the only thing that I really need to worry about is fuel, because I don't know if I have the fuel range to make it all the way out there. So normally you would buy fuel ships. So let me check on the map here how far I can go. Yeah, I can't get out there. That's I think it was, yeah, it's too far. So what I'm going to need to do is to clear this this bounty and then spend the money from the bounty to buy a fuel ship so that I can actually physically get out to the location. So that's my next goal, is to clear a bounty for a fuel ship. All right, out we are. Blaster and Syndra, Zifi and Mahai Goku, thank you for all the resubs and cheers. Welcome to Starsector. So anyone that remembers the last series that I had, I love Sunders with the pulse cannons. So the pulse cannons here, these plasma cannons rather, the Sunder is kind of a glass cannon ship, and this is a glass cannon weapon. So you'll see it in action once I get into combat, where we can blow apart ships so quickly that are like even larger than the Sunder itself. Now that's a bit skill dependent, and I could suck, so we'll see about that. So this bounty here, they are near a barren world at a supergiant, and this here looks like a barren planet. So let's hop in to this jump point. Uh-oh, we are... Nah, that's not good. We're in a Ludic path system. Bunch of religious... Uh-oh, I'm about to get jumped. Yep, I got jumped. So here are the Ludic path watchers, and they are attacking me. I did an emergency burn to get out of there. So, the other ships in my fleet are going to be my medium escort, and here we go, first fight. So they have a hammerhead, I think, as their primary ship. And I'm going to try to cut up their smaller ships. Oh, no, they have a Sunder, too. Oh, this is not good. Oh, I'm already dead. All right. I got dumbfired up the butt. You probably didn't even notice that, but there was a little kite there that must have had a giant dumbfire torpedo and just shot me in the butt. Good start. Solid start. All right, so we're already at prison. I swore I saved earlier than this. So let's jump back out. Nothing like getting the rust off by getting dumbfired to death. And that is the story of Starsector. It is so very easy to just immediately blow up. I thought that the wolf had me covered from a kite, because kites are tiny little ships, but in Starsector you have, oops, I overshot it. You have dumbfire weapons that do a ton of damage, but they don't home in. They're not IR or anything like that. So if they do hit you, oh my lord, it's bad. And that's exactly what happened to me. And the autosave mod I have enabled did not remind me. So I might actually have better missions offered for me to do ship analyses and surveys for Tritac, which I guess is actually better than what we had before. So I don't know if there's at least small comfort that we're on a better track. So I won't even explain these choices. I'm just going to make them really quick. No, those are anti-shield. I want... Yeah, whatever. These are terrible little point defense. They're not even going to protect me. And I'm going to leave the integrated targeting unit in there. Might as well. Might as well. And my weapon groups are done. You are going to get the sabos. And you're done. All set. Buy my fuel. Buy some supplies. And save this time. Alright, taking a look. There is Survey Barren World by Tritachyon. I would need 30 heavy machinery and 160 crew, but I'm going to accept that. And then, I think there was another Tritach. Analyze a derelict ship by Tritach out that way. I'm going to accept that as well. Working 2 Tritach missions. Okay, current priority is do the survey missions for Tritach. I'm just going to call them Tritach like they're Tic Tacs. So this barren world, 30 heavy machinery and 160 crew. I don't know if I can accommodate that level of crew. Oh, no, I can. No, I can accommodate 130 crew. So I'm going to need a little bit more crew than I currently have. And I can't even pay for anything at the moment. Maybe I can black market it. Alright, so I just black marketed the heavy machinery. But my crew caps out at 130. Because, you know, I don't literally have space for any additional crew. So there's a few things that I could do, which is to modify these ships that I have in here for expanded berthing, additional berth, so that they can hold more crew. That's probably the cheapest way to do it. It's a weird way to do it. And I might even modify my own ship for expanded berth as well. So I'm going to get rid of the flux coil and stick in the expanded berth. And that gives me hopefully enough crew to accommodate that mission. We'll see. Yeah, I can have up to 260. Perfect. And I needed 190. Let me go back to the fleet and not have that in my own ship and see if that's enough. Yep, 190 exactly on the dot. So I can put my ship back together so that it is not modified for this mission, but all the other ships have to be. All right, so for me to pay for the 190, I don't have enough money at the moment. So what I could do is I could sell some of my supplies, and we're good to go. And the 30 grand that will clear doing that mission will help to pay for future whatever I need, right? So it's a barren world of Zaratna in the... Yep, okay. So I'm queued up to go there. Oh, and there's another probe. I'm going to accept that as well. Because probably my first purchase is going to be a fuel ship for a longer range survey. Give me the option to survey far distances for Tritach or whoever wants to pay. And there it is. They wanted this little barren world surveyed. Looks terrible. Done. And I've been paid, and my relationship with them went up 5. The other thing is, okay, there are no other planets on this this solar system, but I'm going to do a active sensor pulse to see if there's any, like, treasures or anything here. No, I don't think there's anything here. I do have neutrino detection, which I could try. So let's go hook up the neutrino detector. Oh, I don't have any volatiles. So, yeah, of course, I don't have any volatiles. Why would I have any? But now we have 30 grand. So my next my next thing I'm going to do is to buy a fuel ship so that I have the ability to run further missions. So I'm going to do these 2 analyses missions, and then I'm going to throw it to you for you to decide on what to do after that. But that's... Oh, there's another probe. I'll accept that too. Accepting all the Tritech stuff. But that will help pay for a whole lot of whatever you guys vote on. And I just hope that I don't get jumped by, like, pirates, because I'm a pretty target-rich. Ooh, there's a debris field. Do I want to hurt enemies? I do not. I think I accidentally just interdict pulsed everybody that was there. Yep, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Misclick. Yep, I just did an interdiction pulse. That, like, pulse stops them from jumping or using, like, speed engines or anything like that. It's kind of a hostile action. Totally didn't mean to. Okay, so with my additional money, 45k, let's go ahead and get rid of all the additional berthing, because that doesn't make any sense for these ships anymore. Set these ships up with their original components. Actually, I'm not even sure what was in the brawler, but I'm going to give this... Ooh, I don't know. Auxiliary thrusters for more maneuverability and better flux dissipation. So there's a Phaeton, but it's damaged. We also have a Dram. What demod is this Phaeton have? Erratic fuel injector? Okay, we don't want that because that uses more fuel. So that's not good. So I'm going to shop around for another Phaeton at one of these other worlds. Oh, and my fleet is over crew capacity, so we're using extra supplies per day, which is dumb. I need to hire that ship immediately. Are they selling it here? They have another demodded Phaeton, and it has compromised storage, which could be okay. What about on the open market? Yeah, okay, we'll buy the compromised storage one. So, total personnel capacity of my fleet is 145. There is too many people on this. So I'm going to dump some of the crew into core this world that I'm at. Buy all of their open market fuel. And, well, you know what? Abort that. I'm going to do everything on the black market. I don't really care about my relationship with the hegemony. So, black market life for me. Alright, so now that I have that Phaeton for additional fuel capacity, I'm going to go back down to the Tritac world and buy fuel and maybe outfit it. So it has compromised storage, but... Oh, so fuel capacity is also reduced. That kind of sucks. The thing is I can offset that by auxiliary fuel tanks to raise its fuel capacity back up and additional cargo holds to raise that back up. My guess is this ship also burns slow, so let me check on its travel speed. So over here we have the Phaeton moves at 8, everything else moves at 9, so I should speed it up too. So in terms of outfitting, instead of the cargo holds, I'm going to give it militarized subsystems, which increases the burn level by 1, so it keeps up with all the other ships. Because you only move as fast as the slowest ship in your fleet. So I don't want this to be the slowest ship of my fleet, or it slows us down. So more fuel tanks, a little bit faster. It also raises its minimum crew required, but I'm well over that. And then I'm going to give it auxiliary thrusters and some capacitors. I don't really care. It's never going to be in combat if I can help it. I know that I'm way over my raffle timer, so I'm going to set the raffle timer back up again because I was busy yammering. And at the end of this new 5 minutes, I'm going to raffle off all these ships. And then let's buy as much fuel as I can afford reasonably. There it is. I'm not going to be black marketing this on purpose because I'm trying to make friends with Tritech, and doing black market trades pisses them off just a wee bit. Plus, I'm not going to need money pretty soon. Yeah, if I remember. Raffle, if I remember. So if we go to Intel, go to accepted, we can see the 3 quests that I've accepted. 2 of them are in the same spot. 1 is not. I'm going to go to the same spot once. It's a derelict ship and a domain era probe. And they are both in the Delta Wande star system. I might not get to this one because it's so far away. So we'll see. So we'll go out to Delta Wande and run that mission for them. So off we go. Oh, hang on. There's a broken down ship right here. I will take your supplies. Alright, now that we're out in the universe map, I'm going to turn off my transponder so that I'm harder for pirates to find me. Because I do not want to be jumped by pirates. I don't really have a combat-ready fleet. Unless it's like a pirate. The other thing that I could check out is, are there bounties on my way? And there's not. There are no bounties towards my destination. And then the other thing is, are there other things that I can do? Analyze a probe for pirates? No. Analyze a gas giant for pirates? No. Analyze another probe for independence? Yeah, I'll take that. I'm going to do that afterwards. It just so happens to be roughly in the same neighborhood, so I might as well. If you get hit by storms, it damages your ships, but it can give you a nice little speed boost if you're running low on fuel or running out of time. And Abixable, thank you for the resub. And DSN as well. I'm gonna hit the storm. Chunk. There's no slipstreams out this way. That's too bad. Guess, yeah, I do have the fuel to make a round trip. Cool. I hadn't checked that, but that would have been smart to check. Sashi! Oh, here's one of those slipstreams that I was talking about. If you go in that, you go a lot faster. And this must be Delta Wande. I don't see any warnings about it being dangerous, which is good. So, taking a look at the quest specifically. The ship is orbiting an inactive gate. That will be very easy to find. And the ship is at the heart, which should be very easy to find as well. Whoa, I am getting a lot of pings. So here's a domain era survey ship. And it is defended. So because I'm not a fool, I'm going to save first. Because I'm a little rusty. And Shield, thanks for gifting out to Nightbot so you could win the raffle. So I'm actually going to do the raffle a little early because I'm about to be in combat where I can't name things. So first ship goes aft to Raven's Path. Alright, my ship is going to be the Radamanthus. The Brawler is going to be Abixable. And then my damaged fuel ship is the Stutachdik. I remembered. And then wipe that. And we're good. Okay. I did save, right? Let me save again, because I don't want to have to rename everything. Alright, so here's an era survey ship that I am going to fight the automated defenses myself. Ooh, a floof pet. Sorry, 2 Village. Hi, buddy. I will even give you peanuts as penance. Alright, my ships, be my wingmen. Do not let them dumbfire me up my dummy thick rump. Cause that made me look like a chump. And I don't want to be all sorts of grump. So for those that don't know, you've got hull, you've got shields. Shields are linked to flux, which is also linked to weapon heat. So a lot of the game is balancing your shield to flux ratios. So I'm actually going to drop my shields using the armor of my ship to tank these small ships so that I can have the power to fire my weapons. And then F is a special ability that ships have. My special ability in this little glass cannon of mine is it makes my main gun do just a ton more damage. Ow. Alright, y'all can fight, please? I'm very damaged, but I'm okay. My wolf is being a jerk and is totally not committing to the fight, despite the fact that I keep telling him to commit to the fight. Alright, they only have one ship left. And we're done. I feel like I had to blow them up myself, but that's okay. I did get a gamma core, which is kind of nice. And fuel, supplies, heavy machinery, and some of the weapons. And then I gained a story point to spend. Oh, a corrupted nanoforge as well in this survey ship. And a warden ship that I salvaged, and then the debris field of the survey ship that I just salvaged. So right now my cargo capacity is way over capacity, so I have to dump some cargo in order. Really, I have to dump supplies too. That hurts my soul. I have to dump some cargo in order to not be over capacity, or I'm going to be using fuel out the nose. So I've just dumped that into space, into the vacuum. This is an inactive gate, which I can scan and make active. Also, it looks like there's a bunch of ships here. A whole lot of ships here. So, with any luck, I'll be able to turn one of these ships into a cargo carrier. There's a cruiser here. And a civilian transport, which is, I think, the one I'm supposed to scan. No, it wasn't. It's the Lasher that I'm supposed to scan. And there's my money. Now, I could use story points to be able to essentially rescue these ships and use them myself, but I haven't chosen to do that just yet. And what I'm doing is I'm just dumping things I don't have room for. Now, in order to do the special measures to recover the ship, I could use a story point, but I don't really like doing that unless it's like a giant ship or something. I'm hoping that one of these small ships ends up being salvageable, but so far they haven't been. And then there's also this whole debris field that I'm in too. Fuel is stored separately, so there's always room for fuel. And I'm repairing my ships with the supplies that I am looting off of these freighters. So all the damage that I took in that fight, I'm sort of paying for now in supplies, which is kind of nice. All right, let's scan the gate. Done. I can't travel through the gate because I don't have any other gate cords, but normally I would be able to teleport through gates, which is super, super nice. So then the other thing is the next scan is some scan near the heart of the system. So that's going to be near the super red giant, I suspect. I'm also going to do another sensor scan, see if anything else comes up. And no, nothing else on my radar popped up as warranting my attention. Might be worth getting some salvage ships soon. I'll leave that up to you when you next vote on priorities. All right, there's something of interest this way. Tangier, thanks for all the gifted subs. And it is a probe. I'd also very much would like a cargo ship, because I'm leaving so much loot here. I'm keeping the stuff that's worth the most. Heavy armaments is worth 500 creds per unit, and Transplutonics 200 creds per unit. But there's so much ore and rare ore and other supplies that I just left behind. Oh, there's a desert world. I don't have enough people to survey the desert world, but desert worlds are somewhat habitable. Now this one is really far away from the galactic core, but it does have the advantage of having a gate at its system. Nexerelin doesn't really have these story quests unless you purposefully enable it. And I think this is the probe I need to scan. Nope, it doesn't have the exclamation mark. But the probe just gave me information about a habitable world somewhere. So if I take a look at my intel and go to new... Oh, it's here. It probably just told me about that desert world that I just drove past. Thanks, I guess. Alright, point of interest here. Yet another probe. And this gave me survey data for grid. So there's a system called grid, and I just got their survey data. At this point, I am going to dump my Transplutonics because I'm starting to get volatiles. Volatiles allows me to use my my neutrino detector to detect like hidden stuff. It's also worth more than Transplutonics. There's a lot of stuff here. This is resource rich. Yet another probe. And it's protected. Okay, I'll fight. Can non-player fleets use the gates as well? No, it's just like some magical item that only you have. Which is kind of fortunate, because unless Nex changes that, but it's fortunate because you don't want mega fleets teleporting on you. Normally when you're being attacked by enemy forces, it gives you a certain amount of time to be able to deal with it because they have to travel. So if they were able to use gates and just like show up at your doorstep, you'd be dead in seconds. I forgot to save. Yeah, this fight is so easy. I'm not going to need to. There's like one mini ship left over here. And it's gone. I'm actually going to keep the extra supplies, even though it's going to wear out my fuel, because I have a lot of fuel at the moment. There. I'm even going to dump some of the heavy machinery. Alright, I gained a story point and some experience. And even more junk I don't need. Okay, I leveled up. So how should I level up? And I'm going to read you the options here. Oh, wait. No, this is weird. Oh, because yeah, never mind. I still have to level tech. Or nav. Okay. Yeah, it's because of the whole dumb fire missile. Alright, so this last probe should be somewhere near the sun. Can I click on one of the middle combat skills? Sure. Like one of these? Because you don't have to do them in order. You just have to get 4 lower tier skills to get the last 2 tiers open. Got it. So there's a different tier. So all of these combat skills can all be learned at tier 1. all these at tier 1, both of these at tier 1. These are also tier 1. These are tier 2. These are tier 2. These are tier 4, 4, 4, and 4. And these are tier 1. Got it. All right. Next time there's an option here, I'll read them all off, which is going to take me a while, but better to make informed decisions, I suspect. Into the Corona we go! And that's our probe. Right into the Corona. Nothing like a solar flare. So we just made a whole lot of money, which is great. I am still planning on running that independent quest that's nearby-ish. And then having you guys, once I get there, I'll have you guys vote on what I do afterwards. Whether it's to do more of these exploration missions, which are relatively easy, or go bounty hunting if I buy some combat ships or whatever else. All right, they're defeated. And I leveled up. Thank you, fellow Starfarer, for watching Starsector Nexerelin, which originally streamed live on Twitch, September 22nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I couldn't do it without you guys. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Starfarer.